There's a business that most people have already heard of, but very few that actually understand. A place where millions are being exchanged every day, and entire lives are being transformed overnight. This is a deep investigation into the quiet $6 billion industry hidden in plain sight. Over the last few years, a single platform has quietly changed the way creators connect with their audiences. It's become a cultural phenomenon, used by celebrities, businessmen, and everyday people. Some see it as a revolution, a new age freedom of independence. But others see it as a
dangerous,
corrupt, and a
dark reflection of our digital age.
Whatever your opinion, one thing is certain, this industry is growing at a staggering pace. By May 2023, a substantial $6.6 billion was made through creator earnings, with over 220 million registered customers. From small towns to the world's most powerful cities, it's everywhere. And as this hidden economy grows larger and faster, most of the world remains blind to what's actually happening. Until now.
It's becoming clear to us that this is no longer a fringe movement. It's a multi-billion-dollar force that's rewriting the rules of our economy, our culture, and our lives. It's here to stay.
My name is Markuss, and I have made millions by tapping into this industry, which has allowed me to retire my mother, buy my dream cars, live in my dream home, and of course, travel the world. And in this video, I will show you how you can do exactly the same, just like this person, and countless of others that I've helped along the way. In order to make this video, we've spent years diving deep into every corner of this industry, uncovering both the good and the bad. I've peeled back every layer one by one to truly understand what's happening behind the scenes. Whether you agree with it or not, this industry is massive, and what you're about to see could completely change how you view it. But just so you can understand, let's take a quick step back and have a look at how some of these industries actually operate. Starting with a brick and mortar operation, let's use a convenience store as an example. You see, a place like this can generate upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars annually. But the challenge here is these require massive capital upfront to get started. Hiring a location, buying inventory, and paying staff, this all adds up. And this is not to mention the constant overhead month in and month out. Another example is a production business. Perhaps it's a factory where you're creating a physical product to sell. Sure, the potential upside is huge. You can scale production and you can reach customers worldwide. But again, the barriers to entry are massive, from warehousing to logistics to supply chains. And if demand suddenly drops, you're left holding all of this stock. It's a high-risk game where just one bad season can sink the entire operation. And lastly, let's use service-based businesses, an industry worth billions. Think marketing agencies, consulting firms, and law firms, etc. You see, these don't require factories or physical products. But there is a different challenge here: time. But you see, growing a service business takes an enormous amount of human effort. Recruitment, training, building teams, and client acquisition, and look, you name it. All of this whilst you're constantly trying to balance between delivery and growth. And the main problem being is if you stop working, the business does too. For years, I chased every business model out there. I built, I scaled, I failed, and I rebuilt. But the truth is, every single one of those models came with a cost. My time, my energy, and my freedom. So I started asking myself the real question: what if there was a way to build something that works for you even when you don't? What if, instead of chasing the next big trend, you could create a system? One that grows, scales, and impacts lives without you burning out in the process. You see, I've spent the last 18 months quietly building something new. A system born from experience, tested and refined, all mapped out, analyzed, and built into a presentation that reveals everything. This isn't just another business model, this is a new way of building freedom. And now more than ever, it's time to share it with the world. The world is changing faster than ever. Attention has become currency. And digital skills have become leverage. And the people who see it now will own the next decade. So you want to make money online? Well, of course, it makes sense why you would. You get not only the location freedom, meaning you can work from wherever in the world that you wish. You also get the time freedom, meaning that you choose your own hours. And of course, you also get the financial freedom, meaning it allows you to get the things that you want whenever you want them. And you might see all of these young guys online making so much money. And there's people making money with SMMA. Then there's some people making money with e-commerce or dropshipping. And there's some people making money with Forex and crypto. But you see me, I did not make my fortune with either of those. I will show you guys how you can start an online business as a beginner with virtually no startup costs and collect paychecks like these in a matter of weeks. And all of these results that you are seeing here are from ordinary, everyday people with zero business experience. Look, I can't guarantee you'll get results like I have, but what I can guarantee is that there are thousands of ordinary people like me and you going out there and making the same as footballers and doctors with this simple business model. Take Fox as an example, just an ordinary dude from America. When he started, he still had a 9-to-5 and he was just doing this on the side. He simply followed exactly what I'm about to share with you guys in today's video, and he was able to scale this business to over $20,000 in his first month. Fast forward a couple months later, he's of course been able to quit his 9-to-5 and he's doing over $80,000 a month with his business, and he was able to buy his dream BMW. Take Robson for an example also. He's just a lad from the UK, again, had a 9-to-5, but just wanted to replace that income. That's exactly what he done following the steps shared with you guys in today's video. He was able to scale his agency to over $15,000, replace his 9-to-5 and just start traveling. I actually done an interview with him not too long ago. Now, if you're looking for the best business model to start as a beginner without having to spend 10 or more hours a day working on the business, without investing and risking thousands of dollars upfront for it to maybe never even work out, and without having to send thousands of emails and cold calling like some madman, thousands of times just to get told no on a daily basis, and without ever having to show your face, meaning you can stay completely anonymous behind the scenes, well then, as long as you are 18 and older, in this video, I'll give you the exact solution to that. And I'll be showing you the exact step-by-step system that you will need in order to succeed. And I'll be showing you all of that over the next few minutes here. Now, if you stay till the end of this video, I will actually share with you how you can access this 5-page cheat sheet on how to fast-track your success. So stay till the end for that. Now, I need you guys to understand that everything I'm about to be covering in today's video comes from experience. You see, I'm not no Elon Musk prodigy that's figured out everything. I'm just a guy from Latvia, which is a small Eastern European country. I immigrated to the UK when I was only 10 years old. I could not speak English. We grew up in a council estate, which for anybody in America is the equivalent of the hood. We didn't have any money. I just lived with my mom and I was trying to help her and we could barely pay the bills. As soon as I turned 17, I started getting a bunch of different jobs. I worked in a warehouse, I worked in a restaurant, I worked with door-to-door sales and as an estate agent, and you name it. I was just trying to make money. But you see, here's the thing I figured out really early on, is that having these 9-to-5 jobs, although yes, they make me a little bit of money, it was not gonna actually help me achieve the dream that I had, which was to retire my mother because I could not see her suffering working all these jobs. And I also just wanted to travel. So, of course, the natural next step was for me to go, okay, well, how can I make more money? And I feel like this is where a lot of you guys are at right now. You go online and you try to look at how to make money online and so on and so on. So I did that. I done everything from SMMA, e-commerce. I was selling phone cases on Etsy. I was providing marketing services. I was doing content creation, photos and videos for local businesses. I was doing a bit of trading, but you see, none of those actually worked and helped me until I figured out what I'm about to share with you guys in today's video. And fast forward a couple of years now, I've been able to not only retire my mother, but also get her dream home, and also for myself, being able to achieve the things that I always wanted. Get some cool watches, buy some cool cars, and live the exact dream life that I always wished. And more importantly, besides all of the materialistic things, I've been able to help the people that I love. closest to me, my friends and family, and even people that I don't yet know, and they don't know me. I've been fortunate enough to actually sponsor some charities in Latvia, specifically one that I work closely with that helps children in need. Now look, there are 3 reasons as to why this business model works so well. Number 1, it is beginner friendly. Number 2, it is in an explosive industry that is going viral right now. And number 3, it takes advantage of the online attention economy. Now first, let me explain what a beginner-friendly business model is, and why 90% of people actually fail when trying to make money online. Most people start with SMMA, e-commerce, dropshipping, affiliate marketing, forex, and so on, which is the same as how I did. But they never actually sit there and assess the pros and cons of these business models. Now, you can technically make money with any of them. However, some of these business models will allow you to make lots of money, but they are really, really hard as a beginner. While other business models will allow you to get to 6 figures in earnings with ease as a beginner. You know, think of it this way. It's like starting a video game in the hard difficulty level, right? But imagine if there was a way to make all of this money while still choosing the easy difficulty level as a complete beginner. Well, what if you were to actually sit down and evaluate the pros and cons of each one of these business models and clearly pick out a winner? So let's do that really quick. So right here, I'm going to share with you guys all of the different opportunities online on how to make money, and I'll share with you guys the pros and cons of every single one of them. So let's start off with SMMA, which stands for Social Media Marketing Agencies, where you would essentially be going to your local brick and mortar businesses like your local gym, your car dealership, whatever, and you'd say, hey, I'm going to help you with your marketing. Now, first box is the average fee, meaning on average, how much is each one of these clients going to be paying you? Now, typically, your average person is going to be paying around $300 to $1,000 a month. Of course, there are some exceptions, but we're just using the averages here, right? And this is in amber. So there's also going to be 3 different colors. Red, meaning very bad. Amber, meaning kind of medium, in the middle, it's okay, whatever. Green, meaning I think it's good. So this is in the amber, like $300 to $1,000. It is what it is. It's not a terrible amount, but you could do a lot better. Next one is the startup cost. Of course, meaning how much money do you need to actually get started with a business model? So it's around $500 because you will be working with local brick and mortar businesses, meaning that these business owners, they are around 40, 50 years old, and they definitely want to see your website. They want to check out your case studies. They want to learn more about you. And you need to build a website, which obviously costs money. You need to build up case studies and so on. Next one is margin. So out of all the money that you make, how much do you actually get to keep? And typically on average, you're going to be keeping around 50%, which honestly isn't the worst thing in business. But again, you could do better. Next one is demand, meaning how many people are actually demanding this service? And nowadays, not many people. I mean, SMMA has been around for so many years now. You and your grandma probably knows about it, right? Next one is fulfillment. So once you actually close the client, how easy or difficult is it to actually then deliver on the thing that you just sold? And I mean, if you don't know how to go viral and how to get loads of clients online, well, it's pretty complex and difficult. The next one is the deal type, meaning is it a one-time fee or a monthly fee? Now, when I personally did SMMA, this was my favorite thing. I did like that it is a monthly ongoing fee. So every client that you close, they will be paying you every single month until, of course, they leave. But at least you get to compound that, and I think that is a good thing about SMMA. The next thing is saturation. As I mentioned earlier, you and your grandma and your dog and everybody around you probably knows about SMMA. You've probably tried it, and it's just oversaturated nowadays. So then overall, effort and difficulty, in my opinion, I would say it's around medium. If you're just a complete beginner, I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, so the next one is e-commerce. This is where you're selling a product online. So typically, you're going to be selling somewhat of a cheap product, around $2 to $30. And I mean, are you really going to make a load of money with that? Probably not. So yeah, average fee around $30. Now the startup cost is around $1,000 to $5,000. And of course it can go up, but it ultimately depends on what you're selling. So it's going to be around $1,000 to $5,000 because you definitely need a website. You're going to need to buy the stock. You're going to need to actually run some paid ads and so on. So obviously these things cost money. And if you don't have $5,000, well, then maybe that's not even an option for you. Next is the margins. I mean, I've put here 15 to 30%. That's actually quite generous. Typically, you're going to be sub 15%. So every $1,000 that you make, you're left with like $150. I mean, what is kind of the point of that? The reason why the margins are so low, by the way, is because, well, in order to actually ship the product from China or wherever you're selling it, you obviously have to buy that product, right? So if the product in China is $10 and you're selling it for $20, Well, you got to pay that manufacturer the $10 to actually buy that product, and you just keep the little $10 on top. But then you got to pay for shipping, you got to pay for other fees, you got to pay for marketing, and so on and so on. Anyway, next one is the demand. I mean, depending on what you're selling, most of the time, whatever you are selling, Amazon probably has it. And when was the last time you actually bought something from anywhere but Amazon, right? Most of the time, the products that you need are on Amazon. Next is fulfillment. Now, in my opinion, it's medium level because, I mean, yeah, sure, obviously, whenever you sell the product, typically it gets just shipped from China or wherever. The reason why it's medium, however, instead of easy is because, well, you're not in charge of the fulfillment. Like, if the shipping container gets lost or delayed, that's on you. Next is deal type. Well, it's a one-time fee, typically, right? You sell one phone case and that's it. People typically don't need 2, 3, 4 every single month, right? Now, next is saturation. Now, unless you find some sort of a bizarre product that somehow nobody has ever sold before, you could make a load of money, but the chances of that are very, very, very slim. Everybody has tried to sell everything you can already imagine. So overall, effort and difficulty, I would say it's definitely difficult and I do not recommend it. Now, the next one is Forex and crypto. Honestly, let's just fly through this because it's an absolute waste of everyone's time. It is literally gambling. If any of you guys have ever watched Wolf of Wall Street, that one scene where the top of the skyscraper, and he's basically saying how the stock market is wishy-washy, woo-woo-wah-wah. Nobody actually knows whether it goes up or whether it fucking goes down. That is the truth of the matter, right? And a lot of these people that sell these signals and blah, 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 they will sell you both buy and sell at the same time. Meaning that obviously one of them is going to be correct. It is literally a 50-50 chance. The stocks and the market, either way, is going to go either up or it's going to go either down. And you're literally gambling. So anyway, average fee, it doesn't really apply because you could make a couple $100, you could make a couple $1,000, you could lose a couple $100, you could lose tens of thousands of dollars. It doesn't really apply. Startup costs, well, you definitely need at least $500 to $5,000 to get started because in order to trade money, you need money in the first place. Next one is margin. Again, it doesn't really apply here. Next one is demand. Again, doesn't really apply. Fulfillment, I would just say it's stressful, right? When I tried crypto earlier last year, I lost around $34,000. Again, no one else's fault but mine. I take 100% accountability, but I just remember, yeah, sure, there were some times when I found it a little bit fun, but overall, it was so fucking stressful. I did not enjoy it, and it just wasn't enjoyable at all. Next is deal type. Again, doesn't really apply. Saturation doesn't really apply. Overall, effort and difficulty is difficult. It is absolutely not for beginners. If and when you do make a load of money, you can then start to trade, but it's absolutely not a beginner-friendly model. Now, the next one is affiliate marketing. Now, affiliate marketing is basically where you take somebody else's product or service and you sell it for them, and they just give you a little commission on every sale that you make, right? And typically, you're going to be making around $5 to $30 per deal, which is obviously fuck all. What are you going to do with $30? The startup cost, well, this is kind of a good thing about affiliate marketing. Well, it doesn't really cost you much. You don't need to build a product or the service. You don't need to build a website. It's already there. You just kind of sell it for somebody else. Next one is the margin, like around 5 to 20%, right? So whenever you're selling something for them, they will typically give you like a 5% affiliate or 20% affiliate of whatever thing that you're selling. Next is the demand. Well, it depends on what you're selling, but typically if it's like ClickFunnels or whatever the service that you're selling, people probably already know about it. So why should they come and sign up with you instead of just going straight to the actual website? The fulfillment, well, this is a good thing. It's very easy. Well, because you don't have to fulfill on that thing that you're selling. But this could also be a very bad thing. Because this is not your product or service, it is out of your control on the service delivery, right? Because if it's a bad product or a bad service, well, these people are not going to keep coming back, and you've done all this hard work to sell them into it, and then you're not going to make any more money afterwards. Next is the deal type, or typically this is a monthly ongoing fee, so I like that. Next is saturation, way too saturated. Everybody already knows the top softwares and the top things that people need, and they already buy it from the source. They don't need to come through your little affiliate link. And then last but not least is the effort and difficulty. I would say it's easy, so it's very easy to get started. The problem is you're not really going to make loads of money, but the real problem is this is not your business. You are literally affiliating and you're selling and you're trying to build someone else's business. You are literally a glorified employee at that point. Now, with all of these analyzed, with all the different top popular business models analyzed and all of the different variables, imagine, let's just take this one business model as an example at the bottom, right? Let's just imagine the best case scenario where every single thing that you sell Every single time, the client pays you between $2,000 to $70,000. Wow, wouldn't that be incredible? Imagine the startup costs would be low to none. You don't need tens of thousands of dollars to buy stock or to invest it into this thing and trade. No, the investment to start would be low to none. Imagine the margins would be super high, that every $10,000 that you make, you get to keep $7,000 or $9,500 of that, right? So you're not working and wasting your time. Imagine the demand being so high that you don't really have to even sell this thing. People are literally begging for this service or for this thing, right? Imagine how much easier it would be to make money if you could figure out a way to sell something that people already need. Imagine the fulfillment is so easy that you don't need to learn about coding or some crazy complicated skill set that is going to take you a year to learn. And you could also just outsource it. You could just get somebody to do the thing for you. Imagine how much easier that will be. And the deal type, well, imagine that $2,000 to $70,000, yeah? But getting paid every week and every single month. And it just keeps compounding. And then you get another client and then it just keeps compounding. That would be amazing. And imagine the saturation being so low that you're one of the first people to even find out about it. And overall, the effort and difficulty as a beginner is so simple to get into. Now, just before I talk about this one perfect business model, I want you to self-analyze what's been happening around the world in the last few years. More and more of these influencers and celebrities have been popping out from nowhere, making millions of dollars per month. You got people like Logan Paul and KSI bringing out this drink, right, that everyone's buying, so that's a physical product. You got people like Kylie Jenner bringing out her makeup brand, and again, making millions of dollars from it. And then, of course, you've got some influencers that sell exclusive content to their fans. And a lot of these influencers, they actually end up on OnlyFans and they sell explicit content of themselves. Now, whether you agree with it or not, this is not what we're here to talk about. The facts are, OnlyFans is everywhere and it's only getting bigger. You see, this is the insane rise of OnlyFans platform. In 2024, OnlyFans generated over $7 billion and it had nearly 400 million users. And by 2025, like I said, it had over 4 million creators. So out of 400 million actual users on the platform, 4 million of those were the creators that are selling the pictures and videos. Meaning that you would have potentially up to 4 million people to work with. There is more money being transacted in OnlyFans than in most other industries. Let me give you an example. The whole of NBA paid out between 2023 and 2024 $4.9 billion. That's with a B. OnlyFans? OnlyFans paid out to their creators in 2023 $6.6 billion. Now, let me just put it into perspective because these are such huge, ginormous numbers. Let me paint a picture for you guys right here. So let's just use this silly little illustration, right? This one little emoji. And bear in mind, it is so much money that I have to represent here that we are starting with $10,000. Not $1, not 10, not 100, not 1,000. This right here, one little emoji already represents $10,000. Now, this is what 10,000 is compared to $100,000. That's what it looks like. Now, this is what $100,000 looks like compared to $1 million. And this is $1 billion compared to 1 million. And guess what? OnlyFans paid out $6.6 billion. So this is a representation of just how ginormous that amount is. Now, bear in mind, this is ignoring 600 million. This is exactly 6 bill. But anyway, would you say it is unreasonable for you to assume that you could make that little arrow right there? If you just zoom in, that little arrow right there is $10,000. Do you really think it would be unreasonable for you to come into an industry that is generating over $6.6 billion a year and for you to be like, well, maybe I can make $10,000. Do you really think that that will be unreasonable for you to think that? That is such a tiny fraction from the total amount of money that is generated in that industry. And since these OnlyFans creators are making so much money, they are happy to give away and pay thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars to a manager to help them save time and increase their earnings on OnlyFans. Take Joachim and Frederick as an example. Again, these are two normal guys from one of the Scandinavian countries, and they joined with zero experience. They were able to scale their agency from nothing to over $90,000 in just 30 days. And again, I have an entire 25-minute interview with them on my channel. So if you haven't already guessed it yet, the business model that I'll be showing you guys in today's video is OnlyFans management. But it's not how you might think it is. You see, anybody, and I mean anybody over the age of 18, can start this online business with zero business experience and achieve their wildest dreams. Here's Oleg as an example. He's 18, from Poland. Before this, he tried crypto, NFTs, and so on, and just lost a bunch of money. He joined the program and he made a bunch of money with OFM and bought his dream car. Now, hopefully you're starting to understand and see that this is literally the best business opportunity in our modern day and age right before your eyes. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, Markuss, all this is starting to make sense. There are so many OF creators. The actual industry makes so much ridiculous amounts of money. However, I just don't know how to manage or help these OnlyFans models make more money. Well, look, stick around until the very end of this video as I'll explain and teach you the fundamentals you need to understand in order to get started. However, one thing I need you to understand is you don't need to know and do all of the work yourself. Let me show you some examples, right? Because this might sound contradicting. All of these companies make billions of dollars without actually doing or owning the thing that they're selling. Well, let's take Amazon as an example, right? They have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of products, and most of them, they don't own or produce themselves. Take Uber as an example. They provide millions of chauffeur services every single day all around the world, but they don't own any of the cars and they don't employ any of the chauffeurs. Look at TikTok. There is billions and billions of pieces of content on that platform. However, well, TikTok doesn't actually create any of the content themselves. And look at Airbnb. They have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of properties on their site, and they don't own a single one of them. All they simply do is they take the customer and they give them the thing that they want, whether that is a product or a service, and they simply fulfill the gap and they take the commission in the middle. You will do the same. Simply sign clients and then get great inexpensive contractors to do the work for you. That's exactly what another one of our students done. He was able to scale his agency and with that money was able to not only replace his 9-to-5, but buy some cool cars like one of his McLarens and now a Range Rover also. So what we do is we find OnlyFans creators that are looking for help. We give them ideas and help them with content for social media. We connect them with hardworking chatters to their OnlyFans account to reply to all of the messages, and we take 50% of total cash collected per month with each creator. And here's an example from one of my own clients. Just last month, in net earnings, we made $144,000. And on the right-hand side, you can see all of the receipts and all the invoices being paid every single week. These are weekly payments of around $10, $12, $15, $17,000 on a weekly basis. And that's just one of my many clients that I manage. And here's why this is a perfect beginner-friendly business model for you. Well, number one, you don't have to deal with inventory or shipping. Number two, you don't have to make hundreds of sales to make $10,000 a month. You don't have to risk thousands of dollars up front for this business model to work. And you don't have to put yourself out there at all. And you can stay anonymous with no one ever knowing what it is that you do for a living. And best of all, someone does the hard work for you. So let me show you the simple 4-step process you will need to take in order to get up and running and scale to $10,000 a month. Number 1 is setup. Number 2 is client acquisition. Number 3 is marketing. And number 4 is chatting. Now, I must, of course, make a disclaimer and a warning that your results may vary. So there's no way I can guarantee your earnings because ultimately it depends on the effort and the work that you put in. Now, when executed properly, however, you should get 3 to 4 clients per month. Bear in mind, again, out of the 4 million clients, you just need 3 to 4 a month. At a 50% split with each client, and let's just say the average client brings in $2,000 a month. Again, compared to one of my clients doing $144,000 a month. But let's just say your client only brings in $2,000 a month. That's $6,000 to $8,000 a month in earnings, take-home revenue for you. That's $72,000 a year on the low end and $96,000 a year on the higher end. But remember, this all compounds, right? I didn't start with a client with $144,000 a month in earnings. That specific client, by the way, backtrack only about 8-9 months ago, we started at around $8,000, which, yeah, sure, isn't a small amount of money, but I mean, it's nowhere near $144,000. And in today's training, I will explain to you how all of this works and how you can do the same. To make this sort of money in a regular job, you will need high qualifications, thousands of hours, and decades of work experience. Whereas making $100,000 a year with the agency model is simply the norm. So let's go into the first phase of setting up your very own OFM agency. To keep things super simple, this is all you need for the first part, is the name of your agency, Instagram account to do the outreach from, and a contract for clients to sign on a 50-50 deal. I'm not joking, that is it. The first step is done. The next step is to get your first client. Well, most people, like Will as an example, they just simply reach out to somebody that they already know. That was his first client. As you can see, this is a result from Will, absolute G. He made over $20,000 in profit with 5 clients at just the age of 18, by the way. Now, if you don't know someone directly, you might know somebody that does. Or alternatively, you just simply send out a few Instagram messages to existing OnlyFans creators until you get one that replies. Like I said, remind you, there are over 4 million creators on the platform. You just need a couple of them. Here's Finn, another example. He signed 2 clients that are already making $5,000 a month. And again, to give you the perspective here, right? You can quite literally sign up a client that is already making $5,000 a month. And assuming you sign them up on a 50-50 basis, well, right here, Finn just added an extra $5,000 to his personal take-home profit. And as you can see at the bottom, September will be a $300,000 month. $300,000 month. And another example, Rain, he just signed up another creator who's already at 30,000 followers and also making $5,000 a month. Or Fred, he's just signing clients left, right, and center. One at 44,000 followers, one at 19,000 followers. And Doug, he's signed 12 clients in 1 month and 4 days. And hear me out, right? Some of you guys might be thinking, okay, well, I get it, but me, I just have 100 followers on Instagram. I have a private profile. I don't think it would work for me. Well, here's Rolfs. He signed his first client in less than a month with our help, with 150 followers on his account. So everything is possible. Even Ralph said it himself. Now, later into this video, if you stay right till the end, I will show you how you can 100% guarantee your first client without even having to do any outreach yourself. And when you sign one client, the rest come easier and easier. And congratulations, that's the second step done. It truly is that simple. Because remember, the supply and demand is heavily in your favor. There are over 4 million creators that you can work with. And I mean, OnlyFans management agencies. You watching this video, think about it. How many do you know? Maybe you don't know a single one. Exactly. Now, next is the marketing. To keep things simple, here is one very easy thing to do as a marketing hack to help your clients increase their social media reach and following. Of course, there are lots and lots of things that you can do to increase the following, but here's one super simple one. It's called consistency. Now, essentially, your job as their manager is to help them organize their content and stay consistent with it. The truth of the matter is that most of these creators, they're just inconsistent with their posting. The average OF creator uploads 3 reels a week. Now, let's say they average 5,000 views per reel. That is around 15,000 views per week. Now, by you just simply helping that client stay consistent and reminding them to upload every day, assuming that they still average only 5,000 views per reel, so now instead of 3 reels a week, they do 7 a week, they now would be getting 35,000 views per week as opposed to the 15. That in itself is a 133% increase already in weekly views. And again, there is of course another whole strategy behind helping your clients go viral consistently. As you can see, here are some of my results. Some of my clients get 20, 27, 10, 8 million views, and so on and so on. I will talk more about this at the very end of this video. So again, stick around. So lastly, all you need to do is just get 3 people to do the chatting for your clients on OnlyFans. For this, I would recommend getting staff from places like South Africa, Southeast Asia, South America, because they are looking for online work anyway, and they are very hardworking people. Yet they simply just lack the skill to go out and acquire the clients themselves. Maybe there's a language barrier, maybe something else. And again, this is similar to the Airbnb, Uber, Amazon business model, where you are basically taking the client, taking somebody who can do the service for them and bridging that gap for them. And this is the best part. You can pay these staff members a commission-only basis, meaning that you only pay depending on how much money that your staff actually bring in. Your clients will be paying you on a weekly basis, and you only have to pay your contractor at the end of the month. And this is a representation, right? This is a whole month, and these are 4 weeks. So the first week, you get paid. Second week, you get paid. Third week, you get paid. And then you also get paid on the 4th week, but only on the 4th week is when you pay out your contractor. So it is literally impossible to go into the red or into the minuses or into the negative, right? You only get staff members once you get a client, and you only pay those staff members once you actually receive the money from your clients. Now, the question you probably have is, where do I find these chatters and contractors? Well, simple answer is online. You can find them from online places like Telegram, Facebook groups, online jobs.ph, and so on. However, we also find, qualify, train, and provide chatters and contractors for other agencies like yourself. Now, I'm sure all of this probably sounds super exciting, but I must give a quick warning. If you try to do all of this by yourself, you have a very high chance of making dozens, if not hundreds of mistakes, and it never working out for you as you might have hoped. You can make mistakes like not having the correct contractors in place when signing clients, not knowing the correct outreach methods and getting close to zero replies, not knowing how to maintain clients once you've actually signed them on, and not hiring the correct contractors and chatters, and so on. However, if you can crack this, it's well worth it. As right now, supply and demand is heavily in your favor, as there are literally hundreds of thousands of OF creators looking for good agencies to help them manage everything, and are happy to give away 50% of their earnings if done correctly. And if you ever wanted to get into something early, before the mainstream catches on, this is it. Now, I want you to use your imagination, right? Imagine knowing what you know now and going back in time and buying Bitcoin when it was only $7 per Bitcoin. Or discovering dropshipping before anyone else realized how you can make millions from it back in the fidget spinner days. It was so easy, right? Well, my friend, this is the new way. The real question is, how can you get results like the dozens of people I've shown you today? Well, you have two options. Option one is to take all of this information and try to figure it all out by yourself. Hey, look, it's a viable possibility for some of you. However, I must warn you, what could happen is you'll lose valuable months, if not years, trying to figure everything out by yourself. Number two, long term, it's probably going to cost more anyway, because you're going to spend money on different marketing things and hire people, and you're going to overpay them, and it's just going to cost you more anyway. You'd miss out on all of the money that you could have made early on if you just knew how to do it correctly from the get-go. Imagine trying it by yourself, signing a client that's already making $10,000 a month, and then he or she leaves within the first month. Well, if you just knew how to retain them, you could have made so much money. And overall, your chances of quitting goes up much higher, because if you're trying to do it all by yourself, whenever you get stuck, who are you going to ask questions and who can you talk to? Which is why I've created something for you guys, something that will give you access to everything I use daily from our own agency still today. This has been tested and refined over years and years of being in this industry. But in order for me to show you what it is, let me first move to the next location. So now that you have a much better understanding of OnlyFans management and the first option, I would like to show you exactly what me and my team have been working on for the last 2.5 years. So I would like to introduce you to our OFM Masterclass, where I provide you the exact systems and processes to help you start and scale an OnlyFans management agency in record time. But anyway, that is your second option, choosing to join the best online program to help anyone over 18 go from zero to success with OFM. And funnily enough, every single result and screenshot you guys have seen in today's video is actually from people already inside of the OFM Masterclass. Here are another two, Fox, for example, generating $111,000 in just 1 month. Beneath that, we have Santino generating $43,500 in just 1 month. And in this program is where we help you start an agency from scratch, sign clients with ease, and find the best chatters and contractors to do the work for you. Because when you learn from experts who have done exactly what you want to do, not only does the path become faster, it's also cheaper, as you get to learn all of the pitfalls and mistakes to look out for from the get-go. And not to mention, it's way more fun doing it this way, rather than all by yourself. Now, if you have a few more minutes, I would love to show you what me and my team have been building throughout the last 2.5 years for you guys. And trust me, it's so much more than just a course. It's comprised of over 40 hours of online training videos covering every aspect of OnlyFans management. And here's what's included. Step 1 is we're going to share with you guys exactly how to get started, all the contracts you'll need, the softwares, etc. So if you're watching this and this is the first time you're finding out about OnlyFans management as a business model, this first part is exactly tailor-fit to you. It'll get you understanding exactly how the business model works in excruciating detail and give you all the tools and softwares you'll need for success. Next, we're going to be going over how you can get so many clients to work with you that you don't even know what to do with all of them, right? Especially for you guys who have never done an online business and you've never closed a client. This is going to explain to you guys exactly where you can find them at scale, what does an ideal client look like, and how you can guarantee to get clients even if you've never done this before with zero experience. And the best part is, this is not going to require you to do a bunch of cold calls, picking up the phone, sending out thousands of emails. It is so much simpler than that. Next, once you've gone ahead and got your first client on board, we're going to explain to you guys exactly how you can onboard them the correct way. Because it's all great closing a client on a call, but what next? How do you actually begin working with them? That is exactly what we're going to explain in this section of the program. After that, we're going to tell you exactly how to do marketing. Especially if you've never done marketing before and maybe you think, hey, I'm not tech savvy, I don't know how to do this stuff. It's okay. We've had people all the way to 54 years old join the program and find out exactly how to go viral consistently. Funny enough, one of our students, exactly in the screenshot Fox, as you saw earlier, he made over $111,000 thanks to a lot of the marketing strategies that we taught in here. And he was able to buy his first dream car, which is a new BMW. After all of that, this is where the main money is going to come in, which is all the chatting side of things. So how does chatting even work? How to make loads of sales in the DMs? And then of course, how do you really get somebody to do all the chatting and make all the sales for you? And on top of that, we'll also give you the exact legally binding contracts that we use ourselves to sign clients. And just as another little bonus on top, we'll also give you exclusive access to an all-in-one software called Inflow. Now, the difference between having and not having Inflow for your agency is kind of like comparing an old flip phone to the brand new iPhone, right? It's night and day difference. The software is an absolute must-have within this industry of OnlyFans management. And within this program, you're going to get an exclusive 14-day free trial to use the software. And the best part is that your current situation in life has zero effect on whether you will succeed with this or not. We have had people start with zero experience, and not only in OFM, but even in business as a whole, or social media marketing as a whole on top of that. We have had people join as young as 18 and as old as 54 years old. People from USA, UK, Europe, Australia, Asia, Africa, from all over the place. People that currently have a full-time job with the goal of replacing their income and just to be able to quit. And also students who are currently in university or college looking to build this on the side whilst they're studying. This truly can fit all different types of people as long as you're 18 and over. So to wrap it up, here is exactly what you're going to get. First of all, we're going to teach you the fundamentals and the foundations on how to get started, even if you're a complete beginner in business and marketing. Next, we're going to tell you and show you exactly how you can get unlimited clients. Even if you have no sales experience and you're not going to have to do a bunch of cold calls, it's going to be super simple. Next, we're going to explain to you, once you've got a client, well, how are you going to do the marketing? How are you going to go viral? How are you actually going to help them get more followers to then funnel them over to the platform of OnlyFans? And then once you've done that, we're next going to teach you about chatting. How does chatting even work? What even is it? And more importantly, how can you get somebody to do it for you? And then as I just mentioned there, the very last part is all about hiring. Who, what, when, where, and how. Plus, not to mention the two extra small bonuses. Number one, you're going to get the exact contract that we use ourselves to close clients. It's a contract template. It's going to save you so much time and money. And secondly, you're going to get exclusive access to a 2-week free trial to Inflow, which is an absolute must-have software in this industry. It's going to make your life so much easier. So for all of these parts, if we were to sell them separately, that would be a total of $2,595. However, for every single one of you guys watching this video right now here on YouTube, there's just a one-time payment of $997. So if you wanted to get access to this entire training offer to help you start and scale your very own OnlyFans management agency, you can click the link in the description of this YouTube video and enroll right now. And again, just to show you some more results of people already inside of the OFM Masterclass. Here is Rain. He's generated over $53,000 in just one day. And Grace made her first $10,000 online with her own OnlyFans management agency. AJ right there as well, $18,400 a month. And to make this OFM Masterclass training even more valuable for you guys, here are some extra bonuses that I wanted to give to you. Bonus number one, we'll give you the exact outreach message script that you need to just simply follow and sign your next client. So we're going to give you the template, you simply follow it. Next bonus, you will also get access to 2 live sales floor recordings of me closing clients from my own agency, so you know exactly what it feels like, what it sounds like, and you quite literally will be able to see exactly what I say word for word, making sure that the chances of you signing a client is through the roof. At this point, all you're gonna have to do is just simply follow what's gonna be included and just simply put in your work. And then the next bonus, on top of all of that, we'll add an additional lesson that will include a downloadable document teaching you the exact SOP, which stands for Standard Operating Procedure, which is basically a training doc you can just download and take, on how to use scripts in OnlyFans chatting to make the sales even easier. So once the subscribers do come onto the platform of OnlyFans, we're going to give you the exact documents that you can use on what to actually say to start making these sales. So even once you do hire your chatters and you hire staff members to do the messaging, you can give them this document and they can learn directly from that. And not to mention, if you're skeptical for whatever reason, which I understand nowadays, people are skeptical, you can go check us out on Trustpilot also. So trustpilot.com/fameu. And over there, we have tons and tons of 5-star reviews and you can read all these from real people. And just to show you some here, so Josh said it's 100% worth it. I joined 2 weeks ago with no prior knowledge of OFM, and since then, I've gotten my first client and made massive strides in my business. And again, to show you some more of our student results, Fred made his first $13.6 thousand in 1 month. Joshua is now on $2.3 thousand a month, and there's countless others. And a lot of these results I constantly share here on my YouTube channel and as well as on my Instagram, which is just @MarkussHussle. Now look guys, you've clearly paid attention to this entire video because you are interested, and I'll leave you with this. Just remember how many opportunities, thinking back, whether it's last year, 5 years, 10 years, that have come about where you thought, do you know what, if I just took action back then, whether it was Bitcoin or no matter what it was. Thinking back at it now, it seems like, I'm such an idiot, I didn't take action. Well, I truly believe that this is one of those pivotal moments. Whether you love it or hate it, people are making real money online, and I'm talking hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars online. And as long as you're 18 and over and you're clearly interested since you're still watching this, I highly recommend you to click the link down below in the description before the price increases, because at the time of this recording, it is only $997. And at the end of the day, think about it. You're gonna spend $997 at some point anyway. You might as well invest it into yourself.